Welcome everybody to the Evercade podcast. How are you all doing today?
Let me ask you a question really quick. What's up with the thumbnail for this?
I don't know why. What do you mean the thumbnail?
The thumbnail where we get a cartoon version of him, but he's like all ripped.
Yeah, why are you all ripped and your neck is like you're on roids and you're all angry? Don't void it out. It's like
okay.
I was just gonna comment too, your new icon. I'm like, how is this Evercade Effect? Like,
I can't really talk because I kind of did the same thing on my banner but I used AI to generate that, and I just wanted to put something there really quick. But I really notices that.
Crazy.
I was wondering if so.
Well, Crows, yours looks like you. You're a little buff, but looks like.
That's because I took a real picture and I told it to do alternate versions of it, and it came out with like a superhero comic version of it. I was like, okay, I'll pick that one.
Oh man!
So he's here. So Gene Joke, and who is an artist, and he drew that icon or his that
Okay. I mean, I'm not saying it looks bad. It looks good. I was not expecting to see that.
Yeah. So one of my live streams,
roided out Ed.
Or I think no, it was on an episode of Karg. He went, "Hey, Gandalf is here." On episode, I think it was an episode of Karg, where Gene Joke said that he drew that, and then I would kind of jokingly said "Hey, if you want to draw me something," and then he did. So he went ahead and he drew that cartoon character, which character is supposed to be exaggerated. And I've been kind of actually wanting something like that for a while. I don't maybe I'll put that on a shirt or whatever. So I changed the logo because I loved it. Like he captured my essence, put the 2600 hat and everything. And then I just decided to change the thumbnail. I mean, why not? Just for something different, because I got sick of the thumbnail and I had to put that drawing to good use. And he put Controls are King for the shirt. So yes, thank you so much for Gene Joke, the Evercade Effect resident artist. So. Yeah, and then I have to update. I'm like, I have to update the intro, and then I kind of I had to update it everywhere. But I wasn't going to say anything. I wanted you all to notice. So.
Oh, I didn't even look at the intro. I wasn't even.
yeah, we'll have all the logos. I'm like, I have to put it there.
That's right, because you changed your avatar too. I noticed. Yeah.
So I had to change it everywhere in Discord to make it match. No, but I love that. All right. So, I hope everyone is doing good. If he does show up here, I will say I did come in hot, but Fast Hippie did. I got 2 packages from him to my PO box, so I gotta open those later today. So I came in hot here. But we do have a little bit of news, more of a tease. I always call it news because that's what it is, and an interesting poll and all that.
There's
but
news,
you know what we. Yeah. Why don't we say hi to the let's say hi to the chat, and then we can talk and whatnot. So who do we have here today? We have Rasta, we have Nathan Foster, we got channel member Lloyd JRM, got another trial channel member, if I can say that, J South 5942. We got Gene Joke again. I have to say hi to him twice because he did such an awesome job on that. Got channel member Crash Line. Got channel member Mortar Sojourn, and we even have channel member Every Canadian who's here. Macho Man Ed. Step into a Slim Jim. We have the Brooklyn Menace. Macho Man. What else? We have Time Eternal. Got RGB TV. And no kidding. I wish they would stop teasing and put stuff out already. So how are y'all doing? Glad Rich made it back from his trip. I just figured you were tired.
Have you been somewhere?
I went to Florida to see my folks over the holiday.
Okay.
And then
nice.
we had gotten back really, really late Thursday morning actually. And then I slept for 3 hours and then went to work. I came home and crashed, just passed out. And then yesterday was a little bit of a recovery day. But it was also filled with all sorts of weird things happening over here on the East Coast. So,
are you talking about the weather, or
the earthquake?
Yeah, the earthquakes,
little tiny earthquake.
Yeah, so
that's right.
So I came in this morning into the studio just now, and I now have to put things back on shelves because they were all over the floor.
Oh no!
So, yeah, it's pretty wild. It was pretty wild over here. So. But yeah, it was a good week. It was a good little break. But we're going to be getting back into it pretty good very soon. over here.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Cool.
it's a very good stuff.
So there was yet a little bit of new, but yeah, I know. I think I know what about the teasing, and you guys can tell me if you saw this or not. But on a
so it's not news; it's just a tease.
Yes, but I try to manufacture and make it into news because we need something to talk about. We're hard at work testing some exciting new features in Evercade VS and XP firmware. We think you're going to love them. What would you love to see in the future? Top secret. So, what do we think that's all about?
They're hard at work. Wait, what did it say? Go back to what they said. I know
they're hard at work with some exciting new features for the firmware.
Okay, so this doesn't have anything to do with the hardware; it's just the firmware, and that's fine. Yeah. I don't know. I don't make me guess. Just tell me what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm same thing. It's like I didn't even see it, so I don't really care. When you got something to talk about, I'll look at it. Other than that, it's just.
It is good to hear that they're working on something.
But we already knew that. I mean, because it was in one of their announcements rather recently.
Yeah, but they,
Oh, you know what? Never mind. You know what? I'm getting confused. I was thinking because Pinball FX is they have an update coming out in May, and they were talking about new features that they were adding in.
Cool.
But yeah,
you're kind of over. Well, the difference is that they said they're working on some, but when they actually put out like a post dedicated to tease that, that really excites me.
I don't know. I mean, when they got
but
something there, they put a roadmap out that had nothing in it, and this is similar.
Yeah, actually, I would always assume that they'd be working on new features. The news would be if they put out a post that said that, hey, we're not going to put out any new features this year.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that would be.
That would be the news.
That would be news. This is just, we're doing our job.
Yeah.
Well, but they've been quiet for a while, so I wonder, are they going to add like Katie's challenge? Are they going to add game of the month? Or are they going to add what I've been asking for a long time, kind of like what Analog Pocket has? Are they going to be adding like a database? Could you have like a favorites list? Will it show you the most cart play? Like all those like awesome like basic features.
Well, here's the funny thing is you know the whole when they added the feature that is here's how many times you played the game and here's how long you've played the game. What's funny about that is it's just in a text file on the cartridge. And if you could access it, you could just modify it to be whatever you want.
I love Crash Line's comment. You'll enjoy your no news and you'll get excited about it.
I know, right?
Well, Ed will. Ed's the only dedicated Evercade channel, so this he has to get excited about.
I do. Physical, I don't know, modern physical media of games that I didn't know that I wanted to play. Some otherwise, and I've said this in my last like C6. I just don't want any more blue carts this year, unless it's Atari computer collections.
Give me. I'd want to see more. I just don't want to see okay, fine, another C64 collection, but how about something from people that aren't Epics or Usen? How about if they can get Electronic Arts? That's what I'd want to see in the next C64 collection.
I definitely don't want to see Spectrum because those games are hot garbage.
Well, here's the thing.
I hate to disappoint everyone, but if we wanted to talk about other news that's tweets that's news, I've got something for you here that might answer the question as to whether or not we'll see any of that stuff.
Go for it.
Well, actually, I'm willing to bet the next computer collection will be Spectrum because that was a very popular thing in Europe. Red for console, purple for arcade, blue for home computer. We've got more cartridges in all three lines coming next year, so there's gonna be all three.
We assumed that though, right?
Well, we did assume that, but now it's confirmed, right?
Yeah, but I mean, why
we're going to say it's red.
I didn't assume
we're going to do red, purple, blue, and we didn't get a whole lot of all that stuff last year.
But we did get.
Although they did touch on them, on them all. Red pretty much dominated last year.
Yeah, but we did get one of each color, so I assume we were going to get one of each color again.
I would assume that too, but never assume, right?
The news here is that they might have an announcement later this month.
Oh,
Right.
great. It's the 1st of April.
Oh, speaking of that, I guess there's also a rumor that they're not going to do their showcase this year, which I think is totally stupid.
They're
Oh,
not
really?
doing a showcase?
Oh, come
Well,
on, you got to do that.
They have to. People were saying that actually on my
if you're
last live
announcing
stream.
hardware twice in a year, you got to. That's a showcase opportunity both times.
Yeah, I don't know. They're just rumors are floating around, but I was saying if that's the case, I'm like, send me the assets or send me the cards. I'll make a showcase.
Yeah, like a showcase is not hard. It's just a video trailer with some voiceover.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
come on. Well, they
Yeah.
might be doing something different, right? So they could be doing something completely different. Who knows? Maybe they'll show up at GamerFest in June.
Maybe.
You know, I doubt it, but why not?
Oh, wouldn't this be wild? It goes totally against the model, but if they had an adapter, you could play Game Boy. Oh my god.
Gene said in a podcast interview they reiterated big names coming. Yeah, but that's all subjective, right? Like, you know.
Oh, trophy achievement system and stuff like that. What else?
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
I asked for all that like 3-4 years ago. Whatever. It wouldn't even tickle my fancy if they did it now. It's almost too late for me, but whatever.
No, I'd still be it.
Retro achievements would be cool. Yeah, I know. Like that's the thing. Enough of the blue. Like that's yeah.
I mean, but you got to get the 10 though. Like I, for me, it's like I like the round number.
That line's awesome.
Yeah.
We'll see it when we see it. I guess that's that's all we can do now.
And I think it's going to be pretty soon. We're going to be talking, like sooner than we might think about some of those things. The thing we were talking about the updates and all that stuff.
Well, it's April,
saying
right?
that-
Only 8
I'm
months
saying
left
that's
in the
imminent.
year.
What is it? The 6th? It's 6 today. I would say by the 12th, we're going to hear about whatever that update is, or it's already going to be out.
Yeah.
I hope so.
People were talking about Game of the Month. I believe that is returning very soon.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the month, by the 26th, I'd say we're getting whatever the next sets of carts are, because we're going to have the new carts in hand. So
Hey, as long as it's before the 29th, because I
month.
keep saying that's like Blaze's birthday present to me is by announcing some like awesome stuff. That's what I keep saying.
So that's where I think things are going. But they got to do it soon, because if what are we talking about? July hardware and then November hardware or whatever it was on the timeline. If they're doing hardware, they got to get those orders in.
Well, the pre-orders usually is what, 30 days out? They announce pre-orders.
They usually for carts, yeah, but for hardware, it's a lot longer than that.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, like
I mean it's got to be imminent. It's all this stuff's got to be imminent. So we're gonna have a busy end of the month, is what I'm saying. We're talking about all sorts of fun stuff.
Hey, iHeart Retro, I owe you to say your name correctly every single time.
Don't you mean iHeartRadio?
Stop it, you! Stop it, you! Oh man! Yeah, we go through this every year, but for me, it's the. And again, I'll keep hitting this on Blaze until they get it right. It's the lack of consistency. If I had one number one complaint, it's the lack of consistency. Maybe that's just me.
Well, I just think it seems a little weird that we're going to get two pretty sizable gaps in releases with like fire hoses in the middle.
I know.
So like we get the stuff at the end of this month, and then not a whole lot until pretty much the summertime, and then just loads of stuff in the summer, and then nothing until almost the end of the year, and then loads of stuff at the end of the year. So it's kind of weird.
Maybe Funstock will have another leak. Yeah. 2 gaps. What are the? You know what? I think I have that.
Oh, the 2 gaps in the timeline.
Yeah, I think I have that handy.
Yeah, isn't it like April and then nothing until July or something like that? Yeah, it's April and then nothing till July, and then from July, so we get September, and then they start skipping months. So nothing in August, September, nothing in October, November is a deluge.
Why do they do that?
I mean, maybe this is like the business model taking over, right? Like when they released in those particular circumstances, the response from the customer was positive. So like they've done this now for a couple years. Maybe those other carts where they were releasing in May, June, like that time frame, just they weren't hitting. So they just pushed it. And maybe that's what's happening. I don't know.
You give them too much credit, Rich, but
yeah,
I like well, so yeah, they have changed and they have changed in the past,
right? And yes, that is also true. Like where there was a gap in the last year's roadmap, they put 2 new cartridges because they were able to get a new deal. So, this could be Rev 1, and we'll see all the way up to Rev 4. Who knows? You know what I mean? They can do all sorts of crazy stuff. I got lots of people were very, very confused. We're getting back to the timeline about my inability to predict things in a accurate manner. So where I expect 100% that the brand new initiative known as Hyper Megatech is not going to go anywhere.
Time to get global Hyper Meganet.
Yes, indeed. I by no means was cemented in my prediction that the new hardware July, November was going to be Super Pocket in any way, because I have a habit of throwing things in the ether and just being horribly wrong. So I pretty much said that on purpose because I'd love to be surprised. I would absolutely love to be surprised and see the hardware be just something out of whack and just here we go. But 4 new pieces of hardware from Evercade branded, it could be quite painful in the wallet if I'm to be honest. But I know I'm going to wind up getting it. So hey, what's up, Mr. Sure. You got all sorts of GTC in this house.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, right. GTC and channel members. Yeah, but I think though, I honestly think it's going. It'll be something like a Duke EXP or a rebanded EXP in VS. At least 2
yeah, I could see like possibly rebrands of the consoles, some limited edition kind of thing. Now, because in July and November the hardware is paired with two card drops, do you think it might be one of those things where it's complementary hardware to a cartridge because it's an accessory to, or is it a cartridge that's in whatever, they got one of the new big names, right? And then the corresponding hardware is a limited edition to that.
That would be more likely.
License, right?
That would be more. I think that would be more. If we know Blaze's history, that would be more likely.
So, I mean, that could be something cool and exciting to think about. And then for me though, does it, if it's new hardware that's that is like that though, I have to then start deciding how many VSs / EXPs / whatevers do I need.
Yes, exactly.
I'd only buy it if it was something I absolutely liked. If it was just here's one and it's like green. Okay.
Well, and I've been just buying everything, right? Is this the year that it finally separates? And then I just go, well, that is pretty cool, but I don't need another XYZ.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat too. I've been thinking a lot about that. Unless it excites me, it's something I genuinely want to have. I'm probably not going to buy it, to be honest with you. I'm done. Like, I'm speaking with my wallet. Like, I think I've got enough ways to play Evercade. But I mean, if it's something really cool, like it's a Activision 2600 collection branded VS, I'd probably buy that.
Yeah, I mean, that would get me too, for sure. For sure.
But yeah, it's like right now, it's like I don't know what's left that they can do that would excite me, because I'm pretty much good with the library.
How about, I don't know why this popped in my mind. What if they came out with like a Battletoads collection and a Battletoads themed VS or
Probably not, because I never liked the Battletoads.
Battletoads is my favorite NES game. So
No, Now, if there was Double Dragon, maybe, but
Well, you could include Battletoads and Double Dragon on there.
I already own that, the original. So
That would be kind of cool.
yeah, but it's not. I'm not a big Battletoads, and I don't think that license is that license is like a grade F license, right? So it's not.
I wouldn't go that far. I certainly wouldn't say it's an A license, but it's not great.
That Battletoad game on Xbox One failed miserably, right? So it's like,
it did, but the soundtrack. I have the soundtrack.
Come on, bro.
It's a great soundtrack.
Understand nostalgia. It's not a proper.
Yeah,
that soundtrack is awesome.
It's not even close to being a proper license. Like if that's their big thing, I'm like, okay.
Okay, what do you think would be a better license, Battletoads or Bentley Bear?
None of them. There's no good answer there.
I just said which one was better.
I don't know.
Since Fast Tippy just walked in, dude, I got your packages in my PO box this morning. I'm super excited.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think what would excite me in their realm, what they could do, and I really can't think of anything really that would drive me to go and purchase a green thing or a yellow thing.
No.
Well, here's the thing: is I can't tell you what would excite me because what would excite me would be something I wouldn't be expecting. So if I were to guess, it would no longer excite me.
It's like the Duke Nukem, right?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting. Although every time they announce something that gets me excited, I realize that there's something with it that diminishes my excitement, like the Duke Nukem thing not actually being the DOS version, or Galaxy Fight not actually being a Neo Geo game.
Yeah.
That might get me, the Tetris. No, but it'd have to be more. But yeah, no, but Richard's bringing up a good point. See, it kind of something I've been saying for a while, like how many different ways, how many different ways do you need to play Evercade carts? Like, because after a while, to be honest, like the ones behind me just kind of sit there, except for Namco. That's really the only reason So yeah, it's like how many do you really need? I think there'll be a Duke. I'm almost positive there'll be like a Duke EXP. I think they'd be dumb not to do that because that's an instant money grab for them, based upon their history. Maybe I'm wrong.
What's funny is that the iHeart Retro, the next collection, Basketball Star Collection, with Shaq Fu, Windy City starring Michael Jordan and Space Jam. Wow, talk about licensing you'd need to do on those.
Yeah.
And not only the Shaq licensing is the reason probably why Shaq Fu wasn't on the Delphine collection, because they did Shaq Fu.
You know what would excite me? This would excite me, probably just because I like these games. But if they somehow got a EA Sports 1994 collection, Madden 94, NHL 94, FIFA 94, and NBA Live 94, 4 of the greatest sports games ever made in 1 year, that would be awesome.
Yeah, and what's funny is I can see EA maybe doing that just because what the hell are they going to do with those games?
They already released like NHL 94 a few times on Xbox One and PS4, but I mean that would genuinely strike a nerve with a big part of the retro. That's when sports games were still super popular, right? In 1994, and they were like they'd be all over the magazines. Like those four games are so.
Why not? They came out with X-Men 97. We could have EA 94, EA Sports 94.
But I mean, like that's something that I would love because having 4 of those without, just purely good fun games.
No.
Speaking of licensing, Walker.
Yeah, I think the big thing though, as far as that kind of stuff and what to expect, I'm always going to be in the lane of, as far as titles and things go, that lane of just getting the obscure or hard to find, like making games accessible kind of thing, like that's where I think, if I was going to get, especially more of the console, more of the red carts, I would, like my license quest would be, unlocking more of those hard to find or rare games so that people can access them. I think that's where I would, that would be cool to see.
The red cart is their bread and butter, right?
What's up?
The red carts are their bread and butter. That's the easiest things for them to get.
Yeah. I mean, because it's, I guess, for a while it's been, a mix of the greatest hits / those hidden gems, right? But I think that's the balance of the cart too. Like those carts all seem to have some, something that's really, 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 really cool about them. So people grab those carts because they have like 3-4 games I never played before. Let me just grab it because they also have 2 or 3 games that I know I love, right? So I think we're definitely going to see more of that because that has always been the thread through all of their collections, but especially on the red side. With the computer collections, it's more just general access, right? Here's a whole bunch of these games that were on these home computers that used to play growing up, and now you can play them in a different way. So and that's pretty cool. And then the arcade stuff is here's a history of arcade, and then this particular slant though, it's like here's a history of arcade that it seems that European audiences really 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 like. But that's also been a theme with Evercade as well, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I'm ready to see anything. But as long as they keep that like, here's some real deep cut stuff on each cart, then I'm in for every cart for sure.
I tell you what I need. It kind of goes back. What I feel like it was Evercade's bread and butter that got me into it. When I saw the Atari, I saw the Namco, I saw Data East, I saw Techno. I want something really nostalgic. I don't, and I don't care if there are already games where I have a million ways. Like I want that Sega, Konami, something. Like I want another. Like we have Sunsoft too, but I want like another Sunsoft. Like give me that nostalgia on cart format.
Yeah.
That's all that I want this year. Give me, get one of those big IPs. Plus, I feel like Blaze needs that just to attract the attention. Because I think I've said this before. There's people who will buy anything Sega, and that would get them. That would get.
That would be it. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, do you think that would be like if they were to get something big, like a Sega or whatever? If they did a like Sega themed piece of hardware or whatever, would that do it for somebody?
That might. It would depend. That might. But then it kind of goes. But see, here's the thing though. Like, let's say if they did that, it couldn't just be like an EXP or an Evercade console. Like, it would have to be in the shape. Like, it would actually have to be like that. It's like they took the Game Gear shell and maybe But I don't know though. But then, do I really need to own that? You know what I mean? It's a tough call. It's definitely. But I like listen. When I see new hardware, my first I don't get as excited. I think, oh God, how much is this going to cost? If I'm being totally honest, and I think a lot of people like their heart kind of sinks. The other thing that I wanted to say, listen, I know I don't have the hugest channel out there, but I want to say 90% of the people don't want any more blue, or they just don't like blue collections. Again, I know that's a small sample size, but so many people are like, no
on the blues, huh? Well, I mean, it's been like there's 6 collections and 3 of them are for C64. So
well, see, and that's the problem.
We need to branch out.
Well, yes, that's because they had the Epics in use and license, and they have so many games, so it's so easy to pump out those collections for that.
It's very.
We said it when we got the first one. We're going to end up with at least 4 C64 collections.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, the problem, and some people have commented too, they understand that Blaze can only get certain licensing, but it's just they're not getting the good C64 games. But I think at least be done. That's why I said no more C64.
There are good C64 collections. It's just that now that we've done Epic, and I know Usen was popular over in Europe. I there's probably more of them, but. Okay, well, let's move on. Let's get to the other publishers that were big on the C64.
Or DOS? Yeah. Hello? Yeah, DOS Blue. Come on. Yeah, DOS Blue. Oh, wow, Jaguar. Wait, what? Jaguar collection.
I don't know if I'd want that, to be honest.
I mean, I guarantee we're going to get something Europe focused, right? Because that's a big market for Blaze. Mm-hmm. So I think we're going to probably get a Spectrum collection or something that was big over there, like the BBC. Wasn't there a government micro?
Yeah, the BBC Micro. That's literally what's called the BBC Micro.
Yeah, so it was a combination between the BBC and the government. So I guarantee we're going to get something there because it is a big market, right?
Yeah, they got a ton of computers over there. Yeah,
I would be looking into the European market, what was popular in Germany and those countries, right? So I think guaranteed something's going to come out of that market. Which
the
makes
Amstrad
sense.
CPC. Plus, there were a lot of Japanese computers that we never heard. Like, I mean, the MSX,
MSX,
MSX2, which are starting to get. We got one game,
Yeah,
MSX2.
yeah.
The Sharp X 86,000 was a really good one. The
Freaking.
PC 98, PC 99.
Yep.
Oh, so you know what? I think we need to talk about the collection. I have an interesting poll, and I forget who it was that messaged me on Instagram, and it's kind of an interesting, fun little thing. Like, I guess I never really thought about this, but like, for example, like, so like, do you guys hot swap your carts? Because like it's a feature, it has like that sound. Because this topic, wow, 108 votes. This topic comes up from time to time. 52% people say no, 6% said see comments.
To be honest, I didn't know you could hot swap the carts for quite a while. I didn't know that was a thing, but when I realized it was like, oh yeah, that makes sense because of the way it's not like a circuit's built into the hardware like, cartridges for older game systems were.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, why would I bother turning them off, especially after we got past the original Evercade? Because what's the point in shutting it all down and booting it all back up again just to change the cartridge?
Exactly.
Mhm.
See, that's what's funny. People are treating it like that. They're not thinking of it as putting in like an SD card or plugging in a USB key. So I thought it was kind of interesting.
Yeah, the cartridges are more like SD cards than you would even think if you weren't aware. So,
yeah. Because here's the discussion that seems to go, because like some people are saying like, hey, they're like, I never hot swap, I never do updates with the carts in, and I've never had any issues. But I think that's just a coincidence. Like I'll go on a limb and say, like, updating the carts or hot swapping has nothing to do with like failures on the carts. That's just a coincidence. Because like with the Duke 2 carts, like I had issues with my first one before updating it, and I still had issues after. It's not like it died like during the update or because of the hot swap, right? I mean, it's fun if people don't want to do that, but I love the sound, that click sound. So once they came out with that update, then I knew.
Yeah, I can see myself doing it more for like the original Evercade and the Super Pocket, because it's just the simple switch on, switch off.
Yeah.
So it's easier to pretend that's an older device than it is with like the Evercade EXP or the VS.
I'm not positive that it's never happened, but I'm pretty sure that at least here on this VS, I don't think there's been a time where the VS wasn't already on when I took a cartridge in or out. So like, I guess default on the VS that's sitting in front of me, it's like always hot swap.
Yeah, or like pretty much like yes, like Jen Joke said it, yes, but I always exit out of games. Like that's all that you have to do, and fast tip. No, it's not a problem. And the reason I like to bring these things up, because there's a lot of rumors that people say, oh, never update your carts, never update your console, never hot swap, it causes all these issues, which is false. So I was just curious to see what people think, but that's why I like.
I don't know about that. That seems a little.
And it's fine for the old school experience to not hot swap. But yeah, that's what. Yeah, they even said themselves like it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I couldn't because and I'll throw this out there. I think if every single time you turn off your console and you turn it back on to swap a game, I think you're going to put wear in your power switch. If you keep turning it, I'm just going to throw that. I think that's more realistically to cause any type of damage to the console. It's just by pressing the button.
I don't think that's worth worrying about.
No, it's not. It's not. It's a non-burger. But I was like, I'm just gonna ask people like flat out, because there's things that just throw go around there, and I'm always curious kind of where this comes from. But listen, I know sometimes some of these questions are the trolls will like throw out some bait and they're like, ooh, let's see an Evercast, and they'll say it's because of course it's not going to fall, But I just thought it would be fun, and I don't think I think most of the people that answered on that channel, they weren't trying. I know they weren't trying to do that. They were just going to trying to answer it like truthfully. But yeah, the main thing is exit out of your game, and you're good, right? That's all. That's all that you have to.
Well, the only reason to exit the game is so it updates the stats on the game. I think that's the only reason you would really need to.
And so it doesn't corrupt your save or your save state.
That's only. I think that only applies to native games, really, because they may have a tendency to save when you're not aware.
Yeah. Games are rigged to self-destruct. The world is a cube. Never hot swap, and Yetis are real.
Yetis are real.
Exactly. Glitches in the Matrix. Exactly. All right. So I guess I guess we should talk about some of these games. The excitement builds in the room as we. The world is a donut.
I was excited when I found out there were more Commodore 64 games to talk about. I thought we talked about them all.
Hey, in all fairness, you guys picked like this would be the next collection. So, no, but I agreed to it, so it's all. All right, what do we think of Baseball Sports 2?
What? Baseball Sports 2? This is
Street sports basketball.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh my god, what am I smoking? Street, yeah. Wow. Yeah. I might as well do that.
I go ahead, because
I mean, I can get to actually playing this one.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out.
Street Sports Baseball, I couldn't get past the screen for whatever reason.
Thank you. Thank
What?
you, Rich. That's what I was going to say.
It took me forever to I eventually did, but I couldn't when I first started playing the baseball one, when I was picking teams, for whatever reason, I couldn't get to finish picking the teams. I got frustrated. I just left. I was just like, no, I'm done. I'm done.
Wait a minute. You couldn't. So wait. You had a hard time picking your teams?
Well, it's not like I had a hard time choosing one. It's just the interface. I was
the
buttons weren't working, and it was I was like, I want that guy, and it's
exactly.
no.
Button. I don't know why. I have no idea what you're talking about. I never had that.
Yeah, it was weird.
I had that same thing.
But for this one, once I got in, it's all right. It's a basketball game. All right.
Yeah,
It's not basketball, but
Yeah,
it is.
What is
it?
I didn't like it.
It's a horrible game.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just a horrible game. No sport games are any good unless it's EA Sports from this era. Just plain and simple.
Exactly.
If it ain't EA Sports, very seldom are there a good sports game. Sensible Soccer. That's about. There's a few baseball games, but that's Sorry, that's just life. If you want to argue with me, I'm not arguing with you. Because I played more sports games in that era than anybody.
That's why I hate seeing games like this on collections. I feel like
you're absolutely right. It's very seldom you'll get a good sport. The only good sports games Evercade's put out that's not EA is Sensible Soccer and some arcade games, because some arcade sports games are pretty good.
And Ninja Golf, but let's be honest, that's more Ninja than golf. But.
That's not really a sports game.
Yeah. And I don't know.
That's why it's good.
Neither is basketball, but
that's not a sports game. That's kind
What's
of
not a sports game?
Sports game.
Here's the two basketball games I like: Arch Rivals and NBA Jam.
NBA Jam is fantastic.
This one actually has some stuff going for it. I like how you could play in arenas that have things that like oil slicks and stuff, but the one with the curbs is funny because if you're dribbling the ball and you hit the side of the curb, the ball goes bouncing away. But I can't remember exactly what it was about this game. I think the whole thing that ruins it are the AI players, because if you don't have the ball, it's hard to control your people to do what you want them to do.
Yeah.
I'd rather cheat broken glass.
Wow.
Yeah. I wouldn't just not.
That's how painful it is.
This game.
Well, to be honest, I think I'd rather play this game than eat broken glass.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
It's not like I hated it that much.
Listen, I'll be totally honest, and kind of like when I did on my C64 collection, there were games like the Summer Sports and other nonsense like this. I couldn't bring myself to go back and play again. And I know when people and that's why I don't call it a review per se, but yeah, it's just if there are games that I can't bring myself to play that's not fun, I'm like, dude.
There's a lot of filler on Evercade carts. A lot of filler, and this is kind of one of them in my opinion.
I wouldn't say this is a filler because, again, this is Epic's, and we're getting all their street sports games. Yeah. So how many?
But why? Why? We don't need. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, even when they were, well, actually, to be honest, this one and the baseball one are two of the better street sports games. You better hope we don't get Street Sports Soccer or Street Sports. I think it's hockey. I think those are the two. Those are actually worse. So they better not. If there's another C64 collection, don't put those on it.
Yep. NBA Jam. There was. I Actually, there was one other game on the Dreamcast. There was another basketball game. I can't remember what it was, but you could pick and customize your characters, and it was NBA Jam. Oh, I can't remember. But yeah, that's kind of the thing. It's just these other games are just so good, and it's like, why even bother?
Because they had to put epics and using games on it, and they had to fill in they wanted to fill in as many slots as possible.
Yes, they had to fill in with filler.
Yeah.
See, and that's and I keep going back to the Morphcat collection that only has 4 games and an unfinished game, and it's an indie. That was one of my favorite collections, and that they didn't throw a bunch of filler on there. And I keep saying I'd rather not have this. I'd rather not even have this game be on the collection, if I'm honest. It's just
none of us may have liked this game, but there are people that do like this game.
Who?
Bash Chick B on YouTube.
You can say that about every game ever made. There's some fans of everything.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Yeah. See, I don't know. I when I look at stuff like this, I kind of look at it the same way. Like if you're playing, let's say a digital card game or a physical card game. Why are you putting this why is this in my deck? It's taking up a slot. I don't know. You're weakening the deck. I don't know. I don't know. But it just it makes me, I don't know, it just kind of makes me angry. I don't know, we're gonna get at least we got at least the 3 C64 collections because they had to. It was an easy license. But again, I wish Blaze would release their numbers. How many of those are we actually selling? I don't know. All right. Well, let's move on to the next game. I don't know if this game is gonna get much better. You tell me. It might.
Oh, this is a great game. Let's see. I'm trying to look at where I put this.
I know there's some love for this. For this. Really, for me, the only thing is it's just the controls, right? Like.
You know what's funny is in my mind this was a great game. I gave it a 6 out of 10 though.
Was this one better than the first? This is the second one, right? So it's better than they improved the controls.
I remember what I didn't like about this game. It's the fact that when the monsters move, everything freezes. And at the beginning, that's not so bad. But when you get way deeper in the dungeon, you have to find the Sword of Fargoal. That's the whole point of this game. The Sword of Fargoal is somewhere between levels 15 and 20 of the dungeon. You don't know where, but that's about how far deep it is. But once you get that far, the monsters move so fast that you're literally frozen. Every second you move. So you're frozen. And that's what's kind of frustrating about this game. But the whole point of this game is to find the Sword of Fargoal and then make it back up to the surface. The funny thing is, like, once you find the Sword of Fargoal, all the monsters immediately go after you. Like, from wherever they are, they're just constantly after you. It's a fine game, but the whole thing about the game slowing down, like, because of the monsters moving, is kind of frustrating. So that's why I kind of like this game, but I think it could have been done better. Like, this is a really early C64 game. Mm-hmm. So back then, this was not, this was kind of stuff was expected because the hardware, either the hardware or the programming at the time. I think this is written in, now that I think about it, I think this is written in BASIC, which is one of the reasons why it's so slow.
Well,
it's okay game.
But this wasn't even the original version of it. I think this started on an earlier computer, like either the Commodore PET or something. I'm going to look this up because it started.
If I'm being honest, watching this is just like it's too painfully slow. Like for me, like if I'm being honest.
It's a strategy game. It's an action strategy game. So yeah, it started on the VIC-20, Commodore VIC-20.
Crow is the Agent Smith of gaming. Yes, he is.
Well, that's because
metrics references.
The thing is, like, I researched the games before and after I played them. It's just whatever I remember at this point now, because I made a video on this game. I don't know how long ago, over a year ago, maybe at this point.
Yeah, no, and he cares. Like with me, like I love the fun of like I want to go into stuff blind. Like I don't want to like part of the discovery. Like I feel like I ruined the discovery, but at the same time, I do enjoy you going into it and hearing about.
Plus, what was funny is that this game in particular, there's a podcast called Sprite Castle And I remember specifically listening to an episode of this podcast where the whole episode was about this game.
Oh, okay.
And that was before I even knew it was going to be on the Evercade.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Sprite Castle is a great podcast. He talks about one Commodore 64 game every episode.
See, look at this exciting combat. I was like, why is your character standing there? Then I saw the hits at the top.
Again, this is written in BASIC. It was originally for the VIC-20. It was just kind of ported over to the C64. It was a popular game back then. It's really early. Like, let's see, what year did this come out? Probably 80 originally. Let's see.
Yeah,
82.
You can't
82.
These games by today's standards. I mean, you just can't, right?
Yeah, the VIC-20 in 82 and the Commodore 64 in 83.
So, you know what, Pete?
Pretty big back in the day.
So that's my So, and again, not to take away from anything people who love these type of games, but I think the issue that I have with like the C64 is, and again, this is my biased opinion, but they lack the charm that like Atari like brings to like those type of games. Like there isn't that much of there's no, for me there's no charm. I'll be honest.
Yeah, because you didn't grow up with it, right? But there are tons of people who did grow up with it that probably feels that way about it, like you feel about Atari.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, with Sprite, people are mentioning Sprite Castle. My favorite thing about Sprite Castle is the intro theme music he's got for it. If I ever did something like that, I'd want something like that. That is an awesome theme song. Just because it's so, it's almost dubsteppy in a way.
Dubstep. The VS is 4-player. Like, Gauntlet would be great on the VS. My God.
Yeah. If we can get, who does it? Is Atari? Is Gauntlet's Midway, isn't it? Midway. I'm trying to think because I have an arcade 1-up machine with Gauntlet on it, and I think it's the one with Rampage. So I'm pretty sure it's Midway.
It says it was released by Atari in '85.
Yeah, in the art published by Atari.
Yeah, developed and released by Atari.
Here.
Developers, Midway Games. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder who owns the license to it, though. It's a good question.
Midway, Williams, Warner Brothers, probably.
Warner Brothers, yeah. Dang it.
Hey, it's
like
funny.
good luck.
The 2014 version of Gauntlet was made by the same company that made Helldivers 2. Fun fact. If you know what Helldivers 2 is.
Fun fact. There you go.
Has anyone actually tried playing 4 players? Yeah, that's a great question.
4-player Gauntlet? I'm sure. Oh, on the VS? Not me. No, I'm the only one that plays my VS.
I'm lucky that I was able to do 2 players. All right, well, let's talk about the last game. Unless anyone has anything else they want to say about this.
To be honest, like it's funny. It's like you mentioned 4-player. If I went over to my sister's house and brought my Evercade VS, I'm sure I could get them to play 4-player games. The problem is that I'm bringing my portable computer and we're playing Jackbox instead.
Ah.
Yeah, no, I'm actually I don't have nothing against Sword of Fargoal. I think this is a fine game to play portably for a little bit at a time because you can use save states. You're not stuck there sitting. I just think that once you get, at first the game seems really good, and then you get deeper. When you get further into the game, it just slows down and slows down and slows down, and you're like, okay, no.
No, and I admit, like in the current, like I've been spoiled by action roguelikes, and that's why I say for me it's too slow.
There isn't. I think you can. Somebody did make a cell phone update version of this game that corrects a lot of those problems. So honestly, if you're gonna play any version of it these days, this Sword of Fargoal update is probably a better way to play it. I don't know anything about it other than it exists.
Gotcha. No, dude, I bet Super Skid Marks. I bet that would be fun in 4-player. Yeah.
Oh, I hate
dude,
Super Skid Marks. Hate that game.
Yeah, but
I'd rather play this than Super Skid Marks.
Yeah, but this though, being there with 4 people on the couch, a couple of beers. Oh my God.
But I can't control the cars in that game at all.
So, Crow, are you saying you would rather play this by yourself than like if like me and like Rich and Pete, if we're all like sitting on the couch with a VS. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
come
you guys play. You guys can play your super skid marks. I'll play this.
Oh, that hurts. Wow.
I'm actually with Crow on that one. I don't want to play Super Skid Marks either.
But it changes the dynamic though. That's like how I feel like about like a lot of sports games and some like by yourself not as much depending on the game, but like with friends though, like it's a new game, right? Like that's the whole point. It's like I don't know. Crow confirmed introvert. Yeah. All right. So what do we have? The last for Uridium.
Okay, this game actually a lot of people really like this game. What before I go into it, what did you think of it? I am indifferent on it. I neither like it nor dislike it.
It's okay. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't remember it much, so that tells me everything I need to know. It's probably in the meh to average for me.
So for me, so this is my frustration when I see these games on C64 because it says it's a shoot 'em up and technically it is, but it's not the traditional shoot 'em up that I want to play.
I wouldn't say this is shoot 'em up. I would not that's what they categorize it as. To me, this isn't the shoot 'em up.
It's like a hybrid. It's got a little defender in it. It's got a lot of like arena-based shooter. Like, I don't know what it is. It's something.
The whole point of this is to to destroy these giant ships that you're flying over.
Yep.
You don't necessarily have to destroy like all of the enemies you see, but I see that's the thing is like you have to land on this landing strip that each of these I'll just call them dreadnoughts have.
Yeah, the battle.
And then you go through this mini game and then you have a certain amount of time. What's funny is if you run out of time on this mini game, you actually just lose a life and you have to start the level over again. So just get through. So once you get through that, you just if you get a quit, that's not a big deal. Just your points. But then this whole sequence that comes up here where you get to destroy the ship, that's kind of cool. So you fly to the end and fly back.
It took me forever to figure out that I had to land on the ship.
Yeah, that's what I wasn't aware of. If you didn't know that. If you didn't know that was the point of the game, you had to land on the landing strip. This game would be frustrating because, like, how the hell do I proceed? You wouldn't know what the point of the game was. The other frustrating thing about this game, I think, is that sometimes it's very difficult to know what's an obstacle you can crash into and what's not an obstacle you can crash into. The game will let you fly way too fast, so you can't see anything coming up. You have to intentionally not go as fast as possible. You have to really make sure you have to destroy a lot of the stuff on the ship itself in order to be able to land. But I found that in the case, I thought that was the case. Like you just destroy everything on the ship and then you can land. But that's not the case. So sometimes you can destroy everything and still not be able to land. And you just have to destroy a few more ships and then you can land. So I'm not sure exactly what the criteria is. Oh, and sometimes you do have to fly sideways to get through some of those areas. And that's really tough to pull off, I found. But yeah, I just neither like nor dislike this game. I know this game has a lot of fans that are very nostalgic. They played this a lot when they were kids. So yeah, it's an all right game. It's just not for me.
4 or 5 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I gave it a 5 out of 10 because for me if I gave it a 4, that would mean I didn't like it, and I can't say I didn't like it. So
I didn't. I had more dislike to this game than like. That's why I'd probably go with the 4.5 out of 10.
Yeah, Uridium, I think, is a more fun version of a game like this, and maybe because it's more of a 3-dimensional game. It's more recent, so I would rather play Uridium. And did you know that this game came out on the NES? That's the most interesting thing about this game is the fact that in the US, in North America, we did get this game, except it was called The Last Starfighter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That movie is not nearly as good as my nostalgia thinks it is.
I never saw it as a kid, and so the first time I ever saw it, I was like 35 or something. I just saw it just because I'd never seen it before.
I always think, I gotta watch that movie again. When I watch it again, I'm like, God, how'd I like this crap?
It's hard to find on like modern Blu-ray or something like that.
Some nostalgia is best to see through a child's eyes, I think, and for that reason.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I saw a lot of people. I could see a lot of people getting excited for this game, but only if you've already played it.
Yeah, and it was the only game you had for like a year.
Yeah, well, that's how people learn to play these games. You weren't getting that many games that often, and
Exactly.
so you got
Maybe
something.
you're
You learned to play it.
But no. So the thing, like, listen, I still say that the Home Computer Heroes Collection 1 is like the best computer collection we've gotten because they're homebrew and aftermarket games. If we do get more blue this year, I hope Blaze goes back in that direction.
I honestly would probably disagree with that. Let's see. Because I would only say there's only two really good games on that collection.
What?
Cool. I've got to run, guys. I've got a hard stop, so I
Oh,
want
that's
to
right. Yeah.
see everybody in chat. Hopefully, see you guys next week. Have a great
Heck
week.
yeah, man.
Play lots of cool
See ya.
games. Bye, guys.
Yeah, man. See ya.
Bye, Pete. All right, so
Yeah,
so we survived. So we
survived.
we survived.
So,
Oh yeah, that's right. Team 7. That's right. The Team 17 that has like Project X and Quack. Okay, yeah. See, there's.
I think that might be my least favorite. Yeah, I think that's actually my least favorite of all the computer collections.
So with this collection, how far in are we?
Okay, we just have two more games. We just have two more freaking games, and then
Two more games, huh?
God, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What are those two games?
You want to know? Okay.
Yeah, I do want to know.
World
thought we were done
Games
with it.
and Zamaria.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, okay.
Hey, there's light.
I'll do a dance for World Games.
World Games.
Yeah, exactly. Crash
Okay,
Light.
those are at least
Nick Roby, you're a weirdo.
two good games on the collection.
Oh my goodness.
Wait,
Oh,
yeah,
my.
but I'm a weirdo. What did I say where I was a weirdo?
everything.
Oh, no.
But so like.
But yeah, that could be said of anything I said. But what particular triggered you?
Give us the collection. Listen, give us the collection of the shirt that I'm wearing, or give us a Sega, and that will elevate Blaze, especially a Neo Geo collection.
You want a shirt for every collection?
No, like they need to do like a Neo Geo. They definitely.
That'd be kind of cool.
Because I know, like, there'd be like a lot of hardcore Neo Geo collectors that they would try it. They would, I'd love to see their opinion, on that. And I think it's like, of course it's like, yes, it can't replace like original hardware, but original hardware is so damn expensive. But what else are you gonna do, right? Oh man. Oh, it's when you said Team 17 was your least favorite. That's what you said.
Yeah. Oh. I don't know how anybody could say that is like one of the better ones.
Neo Geo would blow. Yeah. So
there's only one game in there that I didn't like, but all the rest of the games I'd say I barely liked.
I'll tell you. So I'll tell you why a Neo Geo collection would be, and I'll say it would be the epitome of any Evercade collection for one reason, because Evercade is all about physical media, and I think for like a lot of us, like Neo Geo was like the one system that either we wanted as a kid or we would want now, but it's too damn expensive to get physical media. So it would be every kid only appears to weirdos. Yes, 100%, 100% DF. Agree with you. 100%.
I've gone through my Neo Geo collecting phase. I had a Neo Geo, collection, and then I sold it all, and then I bought a pinball machine.
Me too, but I guess it was kind of bittersweet because I had somebody took like, and this was like early 2000s. Somebody took a single board MVS and they just like put it like on like what was that type of plastic, acrylic or something like that, and it had like the Neo Unibios like 3.0, kind of how old it was, and I had a lot of fun, and I had a few games, and I had like the CD controller for it and all that. And I even went as far as to buy like the cases you could put them in, but to awkwardly print stuff. But then I guess I don't know. At some point, I was just like, yeah, I'm kind of spending too much, and then I got more. It was weird. I got more than I sold it for, and it was pretty jank. Like literally, it was a board on there. It wasn't consoleized, but I had a lot of fun. Like there was something neat. Even just putting in like King of the Fighters '94, even like the original. Just like putting that in there and playing it. Like, oh my god, this is so different.
I actually had King of Fighters '94, '95, '96, '97, and '98 at one point.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's something about having those OG cards. But yeah, I think people want that. People want TurboGrafx and then Sega, right?
And then I kind of got paranoid of having all those games, and it's like, oh man, I just gotta sell them before something happens to them.
Yeah. When again, it was MVS, but I think I was just getting too many games here and there. But still, it was cool though, just being able to have like those carts and popping them in and. I want them to do this, I want, and if they did that, if they do a Neo Geo Special Edition cart, I'll definitely get that.
Is there a cart that they would come out with that you wouldn't buy? That's the question.
So here's so here's the thing. If I say this, if I didn't have a YouTube channel, yes, then I would be a lot more selective. But part of the fun for me is having that discovery and being able to share that discovery for everybody on my YouTube channel. Like that's
the question is, you have a YouTube channel, so is there a cart they would put out that you wouldn't buy?
I was on the fence about Worms and like Mega Cats 2 like a long time ago. I wasn't sure because that was more of like a sports.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you mean Pico 2?
Or Pico 2.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah, was that the one with the sport? Yeah, with the soccer game. Yeah.
Well, and then for me, I think regardless of YouTube channel or not, I made the commitment as soon as I hit the first 10. As soon as I hit the first 10 collections, and then realized how easy it is to just keep up with the carts. I was like, all right, well, that's not stopping.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna keep buying them all. It doesn't matter what it is. Like, they could legit put out. Like, this cartridge is garbage. This is garbage collection 01, and I'm buying it. So
yeah, I would buy it. The thing that would stop me from buying is if they started releasing way too frequently.
Yes,
because
exactly.
When Limited Runs was first releasing stuff, I was buying everything Limited Runs came out with, and then when they started releasing way too frequently, where it was like all of a sudden it's like, oh, I can't. My budget doesn't allow for this at all. Then that's when I stopped buying.
Yeah.
See, those are predatory practices because I know like collectors have to have everything. Yeah, there's that. Or, I mean, and that's why or like if Blaze keeps coming out with like newer hardware that you have to buy to play their cards like too quickly. Like they just came out with the EXP. I don't know. So that's.
Well, if you're a collector and you, what I found is I was collecting everything and I just found it. Got to the point where it's like it's almost too easy to say, okay, well, if I just stop collecting it, I can save a lot of money.
But the thing, though, it's the experience, right? And that's why that channel became the Evercade Effect. Like I love, and that's and I learned, and it wasn't, I wasn't sure how much I love Discovery, and then Rich kind of showed me that hey, here are all these cool games. Some you may like, some you may not, and it's like the Discovery is one of my favorite things. So it's the combination of everything. But if I didn't have anyone to share that experience with, because my wife and daughter, of course, obviously don't care about retro stuff, then that's why some certain things I may not as much, right? I may be a little bit more selective.
Is that you say the Discovery, but
right?
Sometimes you don't really discover the game until you've played it for a couple hours. Even if you start playing it and you're 15 minutes in. Sometimes you get the wrong impression, or if you don't know how to play it. So, there were two games. I think it was funny because, even doing all my research and looking things up and everything while I'm playing the game, there were still two games on Home Computer Heroes that after thought I was done playing them, I had to go back and play again, and then realized, oh, I had the wrong impression the first time.
See, and that's what's great, and that's what I love about that we have the physical media, because you don't have to worry about it disappearing. You can do that. You can go back and you can revisit cards. That's what's awesome. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of that, Roscoe over here is asking, so much talk about what we want in the future. Did we have a poll or something about favorite part or game from each year sometime in the past? Well, we used to do rankings. and we used to talk about things in retrospective fashion here on the show. But we haven't done that in a really long time.
Yeah, I know.
I
yeah,
think
we
I stopped
probably-
you from. I stopped that from doing it.
Yeah, that's all
Yes,
good.
we had to wait for you to catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what, seriously, that's what it is. We were just like waiting for everybody to like, because like I opened my cards
Yeah.
like day one, and
But
I'm still not done with 2023. I still got some ways to go with 2023.
Yep. You know, I think that's going to be a thing that'll happen though. We'll wind up going back and taking a retrospective look at some stuff. You know, and hopefully we'll get to that point where we can do those things and still not have the wave of new deluge coming in. But yeah, you know, it is kind of cool. I will say, however, in a different way, there will be some retrospective action happening over here very soon.
Ooh.
Very soon, and in a unique way. It'll be something that I don't think I've ever done before in my channel. Others I think have done something like this in the past, but it's gonna be pretty fun. It'll be pretty fun, and it'll be you know, like all platform based, because I do lots of different things on different platforms on Bacon Ice Cream. So there'll be an Evercade one, there'll be a Polymaker one, there'll be a Atari VCS one.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
So Jason, so no, I don't like. It's like any electronics or anything else. Like I don't, you know, I really don't. I really don't think about that. I enjoy what I enjoy what I can play now. I save state the crap out of things if I want to. I kind of go, listen, based upon my own and other people's experience, if you can play a game for like over an hour and write save states to it, like you're good. And I haven't had any trouble with carts like after that.
Yeah. And I can say that if you have had collections sit in 8.5 feet of river water for 2 straight days, then dry out, and then a year later have some dude come by and try to clean them up to put them in an Evercade, and some of them just work automatically, I think we're good. And
I was impressed. Like your old Pico one, like it worked. If anything, it was just a struggle of having to like get it to like fit, you know, get it to fit the XP. But
yeah, I don't know exactly
save
what
states
happened.
Worked and
It's weird though.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that happened with those carts is I think they actually did like expand a little.
Yeah.
I'm not joking.
Yes,
in fact, spoiler alert, in 3 hours, 4 hours from right now, I'm back at it. The restorations have continued, and we're in Studio B doing them now. And the first one I do was an Evercade cart. And spoiler alert, I do it on an OG Evercade, an original handheld, and I struggle to get the cart in. It's wild. So anyway, it was an original one. It was one of the first 10. What is it? Let me just look at was it Namco? It was Namco one. Yeah, I did Namco one. So
listen, like it's kind of like I don't know. My overall thoughts on Evercade, like, is it a perfect console? No, but like nothing exists. And currently in 2024, like for what the Evercade does, we don't have any competition, or really the only two if you want to call it that, is original hardware and downloading ROMs for free. We don't have like a modern console that plays new carts, that plays like brand new carts specifically designed for it.
Mm-hmm. You
know, so I'm happy for what we have. Could there be improvements? Of course. Blaze is working on that. We'll have to see what happens. But yeah, that does, the fact that they can survive river water. Yeah, that's like, dude.
I mean, so when I hear people talking about like the resiliency of the carts and all that stuff, and I'm like, the argument is because of the the media that is placed on the silicone that creates the cart. I think a counter argument is like, who is doing a cartridge based system right now that isn't using that kind of medium? Nintendo does it. The Switch cartridges are basically the same stuff. The Vita cartridges was basically the same stuff.
True.
I mean, it's just like they've got it kind of down to a science.
True. Well, actually, Rich, there's one difference because at least on the Evercade carts, all the games are on it. Like not every Switch, cart, you still have to download.
That's true. That is true. Yeah. Some of the Switch carts are more effectively a key that will then allow you to download the rest of it to the console. But
that's OG Evercade fans. Oh man.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah. It's wild. It's wild. So I mean, hopefully it does. Maybe it gets better. I should go and do like something 11 through 20 because that's the only ones that were there when everything happened. I should try one of those maybe next, and then see if it's actually different. If the cartridge size was actually really that 1/4 inch or like 1/8 inch or whatever thicker. I don't know. So.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with DF. Yeah, that gives you. Yeah, exactly. And that's
Right.
why.
Yeah, I mean that's the other thing too. If they're standing by the carts, if there's something that happened that's a manufacturer defect, then it still doesn't matter because you're taking care of you. So yeah.
Which the last speaking of that's actually a good segue into speaking of which last when I talked to Video Games Plus, they said that they're as far as the Duke 2, they checked because I asked them, I just said, hey, did they finish their testing? And they said, sorry, apologize for the late. They said they were still checking for their vendor. So hopefully I will get that because that will be something that all I'm going to do is just take off the ad or block out the address label. That I'm going to play live and open it because I want it because they're supposed to test it, and I hope they do open it and they test it and there's some save states on there.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I can stream that for over an hour or 2 hours and do save states, and then I'm good.
Did you ask them to keep the save states on it?
I didn't say to delete them. I mean, why would you just have to go through too much trouble? Why would they delete them?
That's what I'd be like. Oh, well, we save state. Okay, we want to give them this cart like it's brand new. Delete the save state. It's like if you were to sell something. Some people would delete their saves on the cartridge before they sold it to somebody else or gave it to somebody else.
Listen, it's like getting like a Game Boy cartridge or anything else with the saves. Like people still keep their saves on them if you can delete them or But well, so that's kind of a tricky thing, but because like I think so with those carts, it's past the 1-year warranty. But that kind of goes back to what we're saying. Like as soon as you get the carts, like test everything. Like that's Now it would kind of suck. Yes, if you left that sealed. I think the issue would. I think maybe what you're getting at, DF. Let's say somebody spends like $300 on an original like Technos cart that's been sealed, and then they play that, and then it doesn't work. Yeah,
that's a kind of a bummer.
That would be crappy. That would be like really crappy.
Kind of a bummer.
Well, that's where you'd have like Crow's reflashing service. No.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't know. He might. I think he said he would. I don't know. He might. If you have a broken cart, he might offer. He might offer to.
I can't guarantee anything. All I can do is try.
Hey, he'd be like the John. He'd be like the John Riggs of Evercade, right? You try to.
Yeah, make them all work again. Yeah.
Give them a serial number. Oh, my 2 new Namcos were very tightly connected. Blaze, giving them a serial number, replace them with ones that fit. Yeah, so that's that's kind of the thing.
Yeah, as long as they have some on hand, I think they'll be able to hook you up if there's something weird happening.
Yeah. I mean, so it depends, right? Because on Amazon you can return. So here's the thing: like you might not be able to get a replacement, but with Amazon you can at least get your money back. So yeah,
but you have like a window before.
Yeah, it depends on how long it goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did one. I was like I'm usually behind. There was one cart where it wasn't quite working right, but I didn't even open it up or try it until after that window was up. But they still exchanged it for me because I was like, I didn't get to this for like a month or something.
Yeah, listen, I want to like the great thing is because these carts aren't too expensive and they're not too expensive to ship. And I think Blaze knows that like the failure rate is so low on them that they're just like, hey, it only costs us a couple of bucks to send you a new cart. We want to make you happy. I don't know. That's gonna be my experience. Picture quality keeps dropping. Huh. Again, I don't know. Again, YouTube, internet. For once, it's not me. That's all I can.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. But yeah, no, I mean, believe me, like with anything Trump, like I don't tell them, how much long, like, will I have to replace my Steam Deck battery in 5 or so years? Will I have to do that? I don't try to, I don't try to focus on that, to try to enjoy like currently what we have. And it is something of a concern, but
yeah,
it's it's in the back, it's in the back of my mind for something, for something like that. Who knows? Maybe someday, you know, maybe someday, back up the whole collection or and put it on an EverSD if it ever came down to it. But who knows?
Yeah.
Crow could install it. No, like the big, like really the big problem with the Steam battery is, and I think like it's like the stickiness, right? It's just kind of like the Steam Deck has been made to, you know, to go in there and open it up. Not gonna lie, like after I upgraded my drive, I'm like, hope I don't have to go in there again. But we'll see. But yeah, I think we're due. I think what you said earlier, Rich, about like towards the end of this month. I think we, you know, on the roadmap, we'll find.
Yep.
You know, I think we'll find out about. I think we'll find out about July and the new hardware. Since if they aren't doing like big showcases, then we need to know the carts and the hardware to go with it.
Well, they need to create the orders, is what I was saying too.
Yeah.
Right? You know, like that just has to happen. There's no way they can fulfill if they can't. You know, if they're going to try to announce, they can't announce in June for July. You know, it's just that's not a thing. So yeah, I mean, the end of April, yeah, I mean, so that gives you May, June to start producing, and then July to put it, you know, to start putting logistics together. Yeah, that sounds about right. And I think that's what we see. I think we see the announcement of the stuff that you're going to get in July at the end of this month. But I think that you will see something with regards to the firmware within the next week and a half.
That's what I'm hoping.
Friday is my guess.
Yes.
If not, then the very next week, sometime midweek or whatever. That, you know, they need a couple extra days, get everything all sorted or whatever. I think you're going to see that for sure.
Yeah, and if it's as big as they keep hyping it up, then maybe they've really added like some cool new features that are just like, you know,
yeah, I mean, they've definitely been working on some stuff. That's for sure. But yeah, you know, and then we'll see like some other cool stuff. I'm sure, you know, it's time because it's time to see like the return of Game of the Month and, you know, all those other, you know, cool, awesome features that we're used to getting every year. I think that's what we'll see. And I'm looking forward to it.
I won't disagree with you there, but I mean each handheld in each device does have its purpose. I will say, like it was 1 or 2 streams ago when I did play, because I, you know, when I've been streaming, I've been like showing like indie, like Evercade, like, I forget who said it, like Evercade adjacent like games I'd like to see come on the Evercade or indie games. And it wasn't knowing that when I did plug in my Steam Deck and I plugged in an Xbox, like for not all the games, not all the buttons were mapped, which is just kind of annoying. Versus like at an Evercade,
Steam Deck?
Yeah, like some of the, like especially like some of the older games that were just like they were initially for like a keyboard, like Pac-Man, where you had to go in and like map them, like not like, you know. So, but I'm just saying like the Evercade is more like plug and play. So that's again, it kind of goes back to like no device is perfect. But no, I'm a big proponent of the Steam Deck because I said like the Steam Deck for me, it plays everything else that Evercade doesn't that I want to play. So that's what I like, you know.
Yeah,
that's what I like about it. But it doesn't get me. But like it doesn't get me as excited as like when a new cart comes out.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of other things, speaking of other things that but like, do you get excited? I don't know, Rich, you may have seen the text. So it's like it's no secret that like we love like summoning Salt, and I've said this before. Like he's the YouTuber that I get as excited when I see one of his new videos that I do getting an Evercade cart. Just wanted to point out, if you guys need something to hold you over, I highly recommend Wrestle with Gaming.
With Gaming.
Yes. Yeah. I text you the link to his latest video.
That was the video. That's the guy for the video.
Yes, he did like the whole history. Yeah, he did like the whole history of like of the Game Boy. So which and actually I learned a lot of stuff. But I guess I don't know too much. I guess he's also like a wrestler or does something. I don't know. He's in shape, like you see, or like some type of MMA. But anyways, he does his editing and everything is incredible. He did take like a 2-year hiatus because at the end of because I think he had like tendonitis, which like really sucks. But he's back to making videos. So if you're looking for that long, it's not speed running, but if you're looking like for that well done like long format, like I don't know, he's awesome. Like I like YouTubers like that. So I just had to.
It's very cool.
Had to plug that. Oh, so and then while things are winding down, so here's what was interesting, and so like on my last live stream. Things were winding down, and I was playing Donut Dodo, and as a lot of people know, like I don't have like the audio yet playing through. So I'm still kind of working on getting it for performance. And somebody just said, "Hey, could you just hum the tune? Could you just hum the tune of Donut Dodo?" Yeah. And I tried humming it, but humming didn't work. But it was more like I was just doing like do do do, and I was like more like doing like a cappella as I was playing it. and it was actually like a lot of fun. It was like different, like it's a very Ed thing. So what it kind of got,
So it's a real humdinger.
Yeah, but it does take a lot out because like so. But I told my channel members, like for my next channel members only video, is I asked people. I said, hey. I'm floating it out there for an idea that I'll go ahead and I'll do that, and I'll pick like my 5 or 10 favorite songs. But if nobody comments and says anything, I'm going to do it. If one person says that they want it and no one says anything, I'm going to do it. Or if one person says no. And the funny thing is, a few people seem to be into it. Like I kid you not, when I did that live, I thought like my viewers are going to drop down to 0. But no, nobody left. Like people were into that. It does take a lot out of you. Like on my latest members check-in, I did like the Dr. Mario theme. Like I could almost do that without like listening to it in earbuds. It takes a little bit more out of you, but that's something fun that I'm going to do for members. Like I didn't, because it's the happy medium between like not like lip syncing, but not sounding like horrible.
Yeah,
like doing karaoke. But it was just like I put my earbuds in and I just picked that song. But it was just because like in my head I do that. Like some of those things are just really nostalgic. So
that's
it was weird how people were into my weirdness, and I like that. Has anyone figured how to play Bone Marrow? I've no idea. A few people have. It's just for me, like I was expecting Tetris. Like that's what's what I mean? Like I was drawn in by the graphics and everything, and I'm like, this does not play like a puzzle game. Hey, Andre. But yeah, no, I've been really digging like the live streams, like a lot. Like it's like this live stream, right? Like
yeah,
I love the interactiveness from the community. It gets a workout. I know. Oh my god,
it's pretty cool.
It is though. It's like it takes a lot out of your. It takes a lot like out of your voice, like just doing that. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, that's right, Rich. You are a channel member, so if you get a chance, watch. And I did this on. It's like the last like 5 minutes, but it was.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Some people, no, but what people like.
I keep forgetting that you do like live streams all the time now.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I'm like, oh, that's when we check in, and then.
You could always invade them actually, which is funny because I've invaded like a few of like Rich's non-live, like when he's just like recording. So,
that's right. Yeah.
Feel free to.
Yeah, man. I'll probably jump in and say hi.
Yeah.
That'd be cool
to do that. Yeah, it's all good. And that's what's cool about StreamYard is like with the 4 of us, we could all kind of like jump into, jump in and do that. But yeah, like the interactivity, from the community, and that's why like a lot of us do. That's why I do YouTube and all that because it's so much. It's so much fun to create content, to watch other YouTubers, have them.
Yeah,
have them interact.
It's cool just to chill.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, actually, that's one of the things I do like about live streaming is because it's just like you have like no agenda. It's just like, hey, let's just go on there and talk about whatever video game related. And speaking of that, I'm sure probably next week, I think Cargo will come back, right?
Yeah. Yes, we were the only reason why it wasn't back on Thursday was the fact that I was not able to be alive. I was so tired.
So, Jason, do you mean when I go, it makes a noise keyring with your Katie voice really hints and tips? Yes. I always do that. I don't know. I know it sounds like stable, but that just, if Katie can talk,
I was going to say that
Katie.
I would say, no, that's not Katie's voice because
it does Katie wants the one ring.
It is. So that's just the voice that just like came out when I just started doing that. That and like, I don't know why, like I don't think about this, but like whenever like I unbox something, I do like a tribute to like Retro Rob. Like sometimes I'm conscious about it because he'll be like, and this is the back of the box. I don't know. And then he'll start like reading it. So I think subconsciously I do that. But I don't know his plan. Yeah, the one thing I think, of all of us, well, of all 4 of us, we are our authentic selves. Like I guarantee.
Yes.
I guarantee none of us are. This is very, very authentic. If anything, on some cases, I might be holding back my weirdness a little bit. But like on live streams, I just kind of let it all go. Which I may do one of those tonight. Like I say, unofficially, Wednesdays and Saturdays is when I've been going. When I've been going live, and then Saturdays like later. It's kind of depending, which works in a lot of levels because there's some people that are in Central that are like, or that are in Pacific 2 hours, and then the funny thing is, I get some people like in the UK and whatnot, who are like they're waking up at 5 or 7 o'clock in the morning, or then there's some crazy people who are at Eastern time zone. They're like, yeah, it's 4 o'clock in the morning here. I'm like, geez. Which is funny. Or I forget who it was. Oh, I can't remember who it was that said they like that I stream later because like their wife is asleep. I'm like, I get it. Yeah. Like I there's like a lot of YouTube nonsense that I watch that I won't torture her with too. So I get it. Maybe they like retro stuff. So
Pretty wild.
I thought it was an impression of who's Georgie the dog.
I don't know.
sometimes I'm going to bed. Isaac kind of see his live stream and stuff. Oh, speaking, I guess the other, I guess while we're talking about streaming and whatnot, so I did like an excuse for a 4-day weekend. I did take off the 29th and the 30th for my birthday.
Nice.
And yeah, I was kind of telling people like usually like on that in the past, and this is like pre-child and everything. Usually my wife like she knows like for me just to like my birthday. Get me like I don't know something like Red Stripe or some beer that I like, and then at the time I would play like MMOs or some other games, or like when I was into Hearthstone, I would just veg out and watch that. But I think I'm probably gonna do like a beer live not start too late, maybe start maybe like 8 or 10, and have like at least like and it's like good beer. Like I don't drink like Bud Light or any of that crap. Like like I say, real beer, and I might just do that. And then I'm not, but I was hoping though. That if I got like Sunsoft 2 and Pico 2, if that came a day or two early, I would do that.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm like, because it's my birthday, I'll play whatever I want. I don't know, but that would be kind of a fun thing. Turn into Can't Sleep. Yeah. Oh, Gurgi's a Disney character. Why do I not know that?
What Disney character? Gurgi. I never heard of Gurgi.
Yeah, I know.
Gurgi.
I know. I don't know. I'm like, that's not.
Oh!
Black Cauldron.
Yeah, Black Cauldron, which a movie that I've only seen once.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. There you go.
Oh man, yeah. But yeah, I guess I don't. I guess things are. Yeah, it's funny. I always know when things are winding down into final final thoughts territory. Talk about channels. So yeah, I think next week. So yeah, there'll be probably I say probably calling over Retro Gamers. I would say most of the time, like the stars will like align with me and Rich's schedules. But I say, they probably will.
Yes.
Oh hey,
Broken.
I think since while we're waiting for Evercade news and all that, at some point I do want to do like a video where I talk about, hey, this would be like the Konami collection or whatever else. But since I did get the packages from Fast Hippie, I'm gonna open them. So yes, he kept the PO box. He kept the PO box alive, and I keep saying that as long as at least for the 3-month period, because that's the minimum renewal for a PO box. As long as somebody sends me something, I will continue to do that. If not. Then the masses have spoken because and it's more of I like the excitement that somebody could potentially send me a box of something to open. It's like one is a bigger box that's light, and then one is a flatter box which looks like could be like a picture or a poster. I don't know, but I think that's what I'll be doing. Of course, if there's like breaking Evercade news, I'll be be doing that. But that's what I think I have going on next week, something like that.
Sweet. Very cool. Yeah, for me, it's back in to the completion quests, where this weekend, possibly later on this afternoon, possibly tomorrow at some point, we're gonna be getting back into Phantasy Star. So that'll be pretty cool. Keep your eyes out for that. Of course, at 4 p.m. EST here on the channel is already going to be a video. So that'll be the return of Retro Rich's Restorations. So that's going to be a thing that'll be happening on the regular. So that'll be really cool. Keep your eyes out for that. And then we're still getting through. I'm almost done on all the Polymega stuff, where I've done, where I'm gonna go through all of the games that aren't released on Evercade and do Fun for Fives for them. And then I'm gonna do what I'm gonna call a Super Fun for Five, where I play all the games that are on Evercade anyway, just to see if there's any differences between the Polymega versions and the Evercade releases. And then after that, it's time to actually do the update and get to playing some N64. So that'll be another cool thing that'll happen on the channel as well. So,
nice.
Yep.
Nice.
And then, if I'm not mistaken, I went away and I missed yet another brand new release for Atari VCS. So I'll probably be checking that out too, whatever the game was on Atari VCS, because they sneak out. Like, I'll go on vacation and then I'll come back and then they'll be like, oh yeah, that's right. You know what? It's another one that probably will wind up coming to Evercade because it's Cash Cow DX from the guys who made Donut Dodo.
Dude, yeah, that game is great. I need to pick that up.
Yeah, so I'll be playing some Cash Cow DX as well.
Just wait, I'll probably be on the Evercade.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm telling you, but no, it is my solemn duty because I have all of them to continue purchasing. So just like Evercade on Atari VCS, if a game comes out on Atari VCS, I must purchase it because I own all of them.
Yeah.
There isn't a release on Atari VCS that I have not paid for and have installed on the VCS. It's the right next to me.
So he's locked in.
So I am locked into all those releases as well. So, oh yeah, that's right. And next week's Lunar Lander, I think. Lunar Lander Beyond.
Oh, so
that'd be good. Maybe the 19th. I don't know.
I was say, speaking of lunar, like Monday, depending on where you live, we got the solar eclipse.
Yes.
And
yeah, that's gonna be cool too.
Long as I'm not.
Are you in the path of totality down there?
Yes, we are, but there's like an 80% chance of rain. So.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, that's a bummer.
I hope that doesn't block it. I really want to see. I even moved my lunch around so I can see it.
I'm on cloud watch around me because I'm about 5.5 to 6 hours away. So if I make the decision to go and do anything, it's a pretty hefty decision because that's a lot of driving. So it's 12 hours in a car.
Oh wow.
So I have to see. It's not looking great. It's looking again like some clouds in the area. So if it's going to be clouds in the area, I might as well just stay because we're in 90% area here.
Yeah.
And that'll be pretty cool and it'll be awesome. I mean, I've been in the path of totality before.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I can step into my backyard.
Anyone here is anywhere near the middle of this country, all the way up to Nova Scotia and Canada, and you're anywhere near the path of totality, go.
Yes.
If you're within an hour, just go.
Yeah.
Make sure you're in that path and see it because it is the coolest thing I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, no, it's
crazy.
Great. And for the love of God, have your special glasses, please.
Well, if you're in the direct path,
yeah,
it's the only time you don't have to have them.
Yeah.
You don't have to have them because I mean it actually completely blocks out the sun.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, it's rad.
Nice.
It's rad. Yeah, and bring like cameras and stuff. So, yeah, that'd be cool too.
Yeah, that's why I'm not that interested. I'm sure people will film it.
Yeah,
it's not.
I mean, it's when you're there, man. Everything. It's like it gets colder. Everything changes. If there's birds in the area, they go in the trees and like they get ready to go to sleep and stuff. It's crazy, man. It's wild.
I say, Mortal Sojourn, hold that. That would be a good topic to talk about, like on Evercast 2 or when I go live again or something. You know, that's a great. Yeah, that's always a great thing. Yeah, a company would be cool, but it's weird. Or both of those things. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Sorry, but yeah. Legacy going to be very good. Who knows? A larger screen. Yeah, we've talked about that. But Crow, what do you have going on your channel next week?
Oh well, I haven't really done anything Evercade related this week. After I played Citadel, I've been too busy. But I may be starting to work on Home Computer Heroes Collection 1. Yeah, because I did finish all the games in there. I just haven't even started working on a video for that yet. And if I do, I don't know how much time I'll have to work on it. So we'll see. If anything, it's going to be that. The most recent video I put up was for the Atari 400 Mini. So yeah, but this thing, which I probably had last week too. But yeah, that's about it.
Nice.
I know Pete got his. He was showing me his earlier before the show, the Atari 400 Mini. He had just opened it, I think, like literally this morning. So he may be putting a video up for that.
Nice.
Sometime in the future.
Yeah, no, a lot of YouTubers would like put up videos for that, but like after, it's one of those things where you have to decide like, do you want to hear that certain person's take on it? Though I think your take on it would be very interesting.
Well, that's pretty much everything. Like, it's like, well, do I like? It's very rare that there's something that's out there that I'm willing to hear anybody's take on.
All right, so before I play the outro and thank all my awesome channel members, is there anything else?
You may wait for an Atari Microcomputer Maxi. Well, they never came out with an Amiga Maxi, did they? They only did the C64 Maxi, which I could never get my hands on for some reason. So I don't know if they'd be doing a bigger version of that. What's amazing about this is like there's 5 USB ports in there, 4 in the front and 1 in the back. So you're not gonna really need to put
that's pretty wild. No, thanks.
Thanks, Colin. Thank you.
Now, is that Amiga Maxi due Q4? Is that actually something that they've announced, or is that just something you're saying?
Yeah, I know. Good question.
They didn't make enough C64 Maxis because I never got my hands on one.
Oh, okay. Announced.
Well, they should announce more C64 Maxis.
That's what we need. All right, and another thing I'll say that, hey, if you happen to stumble in through my channel here, or you're live or on the replay, be sure to check out Rich's channel and Pete's channel and Crow's channel, and sub to all of our channels if you like this type of content, and if you want to see this.
I don't like your subs. They give me the diarrhea.
Yep. You want to see this content on a weekly basis, and all that, and the chances are that if you did pop in here and you like this, you'll like all our channels and all that. Check it out. And if you want something more, we also we offer memberships. As you'll see in my next video, have the PO box is kept alive, all kinds of good things. You all know I'm sure like tonight I'll probably be on there. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and end it with that, and I'm gonna thank my channel members. You all are awesome, and bye-bye.
See?
Thank you, Crashline, Mr. Shua, and the Immortal Sojourn!